What is Stockholm syndrome?
I could save your marriage in the next 4 weeks.
Stockholm syndrome. What is it, and how does it apply in therapy?
What did a white girl tell you? So
This is
y'all
one of the most
believe
fascinating topics I've gotten to research thus far. So thank you to all of you who have requested it. And in all honesty, I knew what Stockholm syndrome was, but I didn't really know the applications or ramifications of it within my clinical therapy practice. And so this was so interesting. Stockholm syndrome is named after a bank robbery that happened in 1973 in Stockholm, Sweden. There were bank employees that were kept for 6 days. They were first wrapped in dynamite and thrown into the bank vault. And the thing that happened that shocked everybody is that throughout those 6 days, those captive people wrapped in dynamite, for some reason, became eerily attached to their captors. They felt bad for them. They even...
Hold on. Oh, my bad. I wanted y'all to see something, but fuck it.
Turned away police and assistants to get them out of there. They were not helpful at all, and even once released, some of them still kept in touch with their captors and wouldn't testify against them in court. And so everybody thought, what the hell is going on? Why won't they tell us anything? Why are they acting like they were caring and nice and they care about what happens to them? And assistants to get them out of there. They were not helpful at all, and even once released, bank employees that were kept for 6 days. They were first wrapped in dynamite and thrown into the bank vault. And the thing that happened that shocked everybody is that throughout those 6 days, those captive people wrapped in dynamite, for some reason, became eerily attached to their captors. They felt bad for them. They even turned away police and assistants to get them out of there. They were not helpful at all. And even once released, some of them still kept in touch with their captors and wouldn't testify against them in court. And so everybody thought, what the hell is going on? Why won't they tell us anything? Why are they acting like they were caring and nice and they care about what happens to them? What gives? What they learned is that psychologically, in order to get through terrifying situations, we often attach to our captors as a way to almost survive it, thinking, well, I care about them, I understand what's going on with them. See, they're keeping me alive, they're really nice. And in a way, by being nice to our captors, we're increasing the chances that we will live through it. So oddly enough, it's like our brain's way of helping us get through an abusive or scary and traumatic situation. This applies in a clinical therapy practice more along the lines of people who are in controlling or abusive relationships. For example, we find a lot of battered men or women will refuse to press charges against their spouse or loved one who abused them. Many even bail them out of jail after the police have taken them in because they've abused them. Now let's get into the fascinating part and the reason that Stockholm Syndrome takes hold. There are 4 factors that need to be in place and need to happen, so let's talk about them. The first, and the kind of the obvious one, is that we must feel threatened, either physically or psychologically. And we have to believe that the abuser/captor will actually act out on that threat. The way that we find this happens most commonly is indirectly. Maybe it's breaking things, throwing things around. They may even indirectly talk about harming someone or something that you really care about, like threatening to get rid of a prized possession or to harm an animal that you love and care for. The abuser's goal is actually to get you to just believe that the harm that they could do is possible and it may be imminent. The second condition, and this is where it starts to, you can see how it can psychologically shift
the white
for the person
woman
being
tell
abused,
it, so
is that the abuser will then show some small kindness. In the instance with Stockholm, in Stockholm, Sweden, in that actual event, the captor said that, well, they fed us and they gave us water and they talked about how hard their life had been as a child. They will do some sort of thing to show you a little kindness, to kind of take care of you a little bit so that you believe they're not all bad. What this does is it gives the abused person hope that the situation could change. This could be a small token like a birthday card or remembering to bring dinner home. It could be any small thing. A lot of abused spouses will say, well, they didn't abuse me when they normally would. So even the absence of abuse with no positive thing added in can feel like a small token of kindness. And you know how I talked about that event in Stockholm, Sweden, how they shared some events about themselves? That's another part of it. And that goes into this number 2, is that they'll share some hard times they've been through or times they've been abused by a mother or father or caretaker. And so it gives them it humanizes them a little bit and makes us feel kind of bad for them. The third condition that needs to take place is being isolated from other perspectives. The way that this can play out in abusive relationships, there are a lot of examples that were given. One of which is, I don't like your friends because they talk bad about me. I don't want you hanging out with them anymore. And if we do, we get abused when we get home. And so in a way, we're slowly being conditioned against seeing our friends. There was an example in a woman who was speaking in one of the forums I was reading where her mother would call just to talk to her and tell her that she was worried about her and the kids. And so because of that, then the husband would find out and he would abuse her more for talking with the mother. So she slowly started telling her mom, please stop calling. You're just causing us trouble. You're ruining our relationship. And so since we're so isolated from any
Let the
positive
white
person in
woman
our
say,
life, or
say
any
y'all
person who actually
believe
has any
because of a
insight
black
and is
person
loving and
tell you
supportive,
won't believe
all we
it.
can see is that abuse cycle and that abuse life. Another way this is described is walking on eggshells. We will do everything in our control to make sure that we keep the abuse at bay. That may mean seeing things in our whole life and perspective from the abuser's perspective to make sure everything is just the way they like it. Because if it's not, we don't know what's going to happen and we may fear that they will hurt us. The fourth and final condition that must take place is that we actually feel that we are not able to escape. This can be in a lot of fashions, but one of the most common is actually through money. Many abusers will overextend them as a family or as a couple, so that if the person who is being abused tries to leave, they actually can't afford anything and they may feel like they'll be out on the street. Another way this can happen is kind of through the emotional abuse avenue, where they will know intimate or embarrassing things about you or even threaten to shame you publicly. There was a woman who was speaking in one of the forums that I'd read saying that her ex-boyfriend had made her do some sexual acts that she wasn't comfortable with, and then when she threatened to leave, he said that he had videotaped it and he was going to release it on Facebook to all of her family and friends. And so that fear and that embarrassment and shame held her captive for another 2 years. This can also play out in a threat of suicide. A lot of the abusers will say to the abused that they will kill themselves if they leave, or they'll threaten homicide. They'll threaten to kill a child or an animal or a parent or someone else that we love if you leave. And so the person who's being abused feels like they really can't because they don't want anything bad to happen to the person because they actually love and care about them or the other people in their lives. I'm sure if you've learned anything about the abuse cycle, you can kind of see how this plays into it and how it's so eerily similar. And the abuse cycle, I'm looking down my notes to make sure I get them just in order, is tension building, incident, reconciliation, and calm. And we go round and round. And so you can see how these certain conditions, as they play into it, can be so similar to the abuse cycle, and that's why people get stuck in it. If you know someone who's in an abusive or controlling relationship, the best thing that we can do is just listen and try to be supportive. Don't talk bad about the relationship. Don't get them to leave and try to force them to leave, because that can only build on the shame and embarrassment that they may already feel due to that relationship. And just being there to listen and support them is honestly at times what they need, and encouraging them to get some professional support. You could talk about how maybe you're in therapy and it's really helped you manage some of the things you're going through, and you wondered if it might be helpful to them as well. And doing things kind of passively is honestly the best way to continue to have that relationship so they don't cut you out, and also be there to support them when they are ready and strong enough to make healthy decisions for them and their family. And like I said, there is so much more information on this topic. I find it so fascinating. I'll be doing a whole other video on cognitive dissonance and how that plays into it. But let me know, give it a thumbs up if you want more videos about this. I can talk about the abuse cycle more. And as always, share in the comments. What are ways that you've gotten out of these relationships? What are things that you did? How did you get support? How did you see out of that psychologically trapping environment? And if you're a friend of someone, how were you there and how were you able to support? Even if something didn't work, let us know what didn't so that we can, as a community, come together and figure out what may help out, because it can feel so isolating and so difficult in situations like that. And we're just here to help one another. Am I right? So let me know, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.
The nightmares of life is to isolate Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Diddy alleged victim Aubrey O'Day has a story to tell, but she won't be able to tell it at the Diddy trial because she has not been subpoenaed. that's interesting because Aubrey was on social media acting like she was in New York to testify against Diddy. Yeah, she had made a post saying that she was in New York. Y'all let me know what I should be doing out here, right? You know, let me know what's there to do, something along those lines. So it turns out that she was not in New York to testify. She was there to do an interview with Good Morning America. Well, Good Morning America's host, they got a podcast. Now, here's the deal. She posted that like she was going to testify, which tells me that, and she knew that people thought she was there to testify. Why else would she be in New York, right? And how do she time that perfectly with the trial? So it appears to me that Aubrey was really just trying to get some attention. At first, I didn't really know what to make of her, but now I see, you know, she's trying to lean into the trial. You know, she's trying to get in close proximity to the trial so she can get some attention. She wants people to hear what she got to say, perhaps come up, make a little money. I know since she found out Cassie got $30 million out of the deal, she want to get some of that money. And everybody else trying to figure out how can they get some of that money. So I think that does damage to her credibility. Don't know what she experienced, but when you start doing all of that posturing and stuff and, you know, injecting yourself into situations and leaning into the trial when they clearly have not asked you to testify, then, you know, it just looks a little suspicious. In fact, it looks a lot of suspicious. In any event, Aubrey is one of the members, a former member of Diddy's group, Danity Kane. Danity Kane was signed to Dirty Money Records. They got their deal during Diddy's show, Making the Band, you know, where they, you know, won, beat out other contestants, where she beat out other contestants to become a member of Danity Kane. Another member of Danity Kane, Don Richard. Don Richard testified. I thought she was going to bring the heat, but she was on the stand, about every bit of 5 minutes, and she was out of there. So she didn't have a whole lot to say, but the things that she had already repeated on social media. I think the people who are commenting about stuff like this on social media should probably fall back and just hold their story for when it's time to capitalize. And I'll tell you somebody who already wrote the manuscript.
And the winner is T-Mobile Home Internet. J.D. Power's #1 in customer satisfaction. T-Mobile.
Hey, Stoic friends. Welcome back to my channel. There's a kind of man who doesn't chase respect. He bends the air around him until it's given. He doesn't bark orders or throw fists. He doesn't need loud entrances or fake bravado. His silence is lethal. His stare is a sentence. And when he walks in, every weak man in the room feels it. The raw, unshakable presence of someone who's been through hell and chose to stay there until he became something else entirely. This man isn't built by luck or praise. He's carved by solitude, betrayal, and brutal self-confrontation. And the truth is, you were meant to be him. But life didn't train you. It tested you. It cracked you open without asking. It let people walk away without apologizing. Let them spit lies into your trust and burn bridges while smiling. It didn't give you a map, only scars. And somewhere along the way, you swallowed your roar, played it safe, numbed your fire, just to fit in, just to not be too much. But the rage never left. It's in your chest, pounding, watching, waiting to be weaponized, not in chaos, but in control, not to destroy, but to rebuild a version of you that bows to nothing. That's what this is. Not another cute motivational speech to help you feel good. This is an unfiltered call to war. a path to awaken the weapon inside you that's been buried beneath people-pleasing, fear, and softness. I'm going to show you 5 brutal habits, not for comfort, not for approval, but to forge a man that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, and damn sure doesn't beg. These are habits that kill weakness, burn illusions, and sharpen your soul until it cuts through every lie you've been sold about who you are. Understand this. Power isn't in how loud you can scream. It's in how quiet you can stay when the world tries to break you. As Epictetus once said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Sit with that, because this isn't about fake masculinity or fragile ego. This is about becoming a man who doesn't react, he responds, who doesn't explode, he executes, and who doesn't need validation because his very existence demands attention. If you've ever been underestimated, good. If you've ever been heartbroken, betrayed, mocked, or ignored, perfect. Because the storm that built you is more honest than any comfort zone you've ever crawled into, and the version of you that's coming, he's not here to play nice. He's not here to be liked. He's here to lead. And not by title, but by presence. A man forged in silence, sharpened by suffering, and fueled by a fire that never asks permission. So don't just watch this like another video. Bleed into it. Let it rip through every soft corner of you that still thinks being liked is more important than being real. Because this isn't self-help, it's self-destruction of everything that kept you small. And if you're ready to become untouchable, then subscribe. Share it with someone who needs a war cry. And
I am the trap god. I am the rap god. You want to see what I do in my life to get me ready for the streets? Let's see some. Beat your ass. Oh, beat your ass. Oh. They thought I was down and out. They thought I didn't have it for the streets. They thought I didn't have it for the block. But I showed them better than I can tell them. I mean, I guess you gotta be, you know what I'm saying, self-motivated and sick of like this with this, come in with this. They got me out on the street, lonely when it comes to this rap game. Hold me back, man. I guess I'm mentally insane with this slavery in my own mind. I hope I ain't wasting your time. You learn a little something from the trap of the rap guy. I'm Kod Testimonies. You know, the world is never gonna approve of you. You gotta fight the battle of the war inside of your mind, your body, and soul. You heard me? Every day, every way. Even when everybody around you tells you, why you acting crazy? Why you out of control and wanna beg? Cause you're not broken, you ain't playing all. Me and the system changing, yeah. You wanna be your own person, yeah, I hear war. For a different kind of the boss. You're the boss. Control of your own mind. All this shit, get you ready for the day that you die to give me to make a damn. I'm the trap guy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the rap guy. They beat your ass. Come on.
Hi, I'm Athena, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing you're going to love about the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich.
Okay. I'm begging for a way that I can change from the way I grew up. I don't want to be like this no more, man. Hurt people hurt. And when you hurt, you express yourself. I don't believe that I experience all this suffering and all this pain. I'm trying to reach out to you. If you want change to come, you have to just invest in yourself and make a different way. Feed yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and pay attention. All these traps, This is not just rap, this is all about you. Words of motivation, You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. You're ready to break your ass, dog. Kiss your tail. Come on.
Money's always costing money.
About it.
But when you get the...
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, they are saying you got people out in the street paying $20 an hour to wear your t-shirts. And all I gotta say is, y'all should have asked for 50. Y'all, sources are saying that Diddy has already paid out in the last couple of weeks about $1.5 million for a PR media smear campaign. They are saying that he has earmarked up to $10 million. Why? He wants people on the ground to wear free Diddy shirts. He wants people in the street harassing bloggers, YouTubers, and if they can, even press people, so they are scared to actually cover what's going on in front of this courthouse. And he has earmarked millions of dollars for troll farms and for social media engagement to amplify the paid articles that he has paid. Also, if y'all haven't seen the video, I'm going to drop it right here for y'all to say. It's actually super embarrassing and humiliating for Diddy. Also, if you have seen it, just fast forward past the video, because baby, there's more about the way he is paying up to $10 million to the media right now to launch this campaign. Anyway, here you go.
Why do you feel that way?
These military protesters, you can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You guys speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no. It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, they just tried to pay me $20 to wear a free fucking shirt. Stop.
I could tell, because the lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm good. So just $20. If you guys need $20, all you have to do is wear a free puff shirt and just stand out here. And you said no.
Yeah, I said no.
Did they say how many hours? $20 an hour. And she told me she got paid like $60 yesterday for standing out here in 3 hours. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Y'all, listen, if you don't know, hi, my name is Tisa, and Gucci think you love him. Listen, Diddy has lost his mind, and it seems like he is getting desperate. See, here's the thing. Diddy don't know, and this is my opinion, because I have been in the courthouse all week. Make sure you subscribe and put on your notifications. I will literally run out from the courthouse every hour or so, and I'm giving y'all live updates. And because I'm actually in the room, I'm telling you the body language. I'm telling you how things look. I'm telling you how people look. Diddy's already grilled me down 2 times, but baby, we are on it. But anyway, let's get into what is going on. Okay, if you guys don't know, it was exposed by Emily Knows Best, Kanye's post, that Diddy is paying people to wear free Diddy shirts. Now, I was actually there, and my phone was dead, so I couldn't videotape it, but it doesn't matter, because I'm going to video, because I was busy doing live. I'm going to tape it on Monday. when I was walking out the front of the courthouse, okay, as soon as I stood there and I was giving an interview to a bunch of people, all of a sudden, a bunch of people ran up and they were wearing free Diddy t-shirts. And they like kind of like not surrounded me, but they were trying to stand there so all the media could only see that. Now, here's the thing. Before this girl admitted that they were actually paid actors, anybody with 2 cents could have seen. They were young, they were old, they were college kids. There were a few housing insecure people. It was very, very obvious that none of these people knew each other. And the fact that they all ran and they were looking for the cameras and they were like, free Diddy. And then as soon as the cameras went off, there was only like a few news organizations that actually snapped them. They quickly dispersed and then they were standing around waiting for their payout. Now, some people were told that it was for a Diddy meme coin, okay? But here's the real gag. Look who recirculated those images. Diddy has put out serious money onto the blogs and also mainstream media. Let's not forget that Diddy is still very powerful. At the very least, he knows a lot about people. He has put out a lot of money out on the street. Why? Because the blogs are supposed to amplify the BS that is coming out the courtroom. If you guys don't know what's coming out of the courtroom, a lot of people that don't really understand legal is saying, oh my God, Cassie's done, Diddy got her. Listen, what Diddy did in the court was literally not do anything with his PR team. Hold on really quick, y'all. Not do anything necessarily with poking holes in Cassie's story, which is what cross-examination is for. Now Diddy's saying they need to review the transcript and they're going to try to bring pregnant Cassie back Monday. Cassie says she's not going. Cassie probably got an appointment to have her baby on Monday. She is heavily beautiful, definitely, but also heavily pregnant. But let me get back to my point, right? Because at the end of the day, Diddy...
Everybody eating off this.
Y'all hear this all the time. It's gonna play every day. You have shows around this. Every day. So yeah, Cassie Ventura exposed. She exposed every single liar on social media. Every one of them. Oh, Cassie nasty. She freaky, man. Look at her. And half these niggas doing that shit Cassie doing. I got the stats to prove it. I got the stats to prove it. I got the stats to prove it. Now, let's go read this article. Let's read this article. Right here in the New York Times. Right? Right? Title ain't misleading. The title's the truth. Cassie Ventura exposed. She exposed everybody. See, here's the problem with y'all. Y'all taking the context.
The city of Worcester has released police body cam video of the controversial ICE arrest. This happened last week, where you can see this moment here. A 17-year-old girl face down on the ground as an officer detained her, while federal agents detained her mother just a few feet away. NBC 10's Michael Rosenfield is live for us in Worcester. He's got the breaking details on this story. Michael?
Yeah, Colton, it was a chaotic scene that played out here on Eureka Street in Worcester late last week when ICE showed up here in this neighborhood to make an arrest. Let's take a closer look at some of the footage that was just released late this afternoon by the Worcester Police Department. City officials say Worcester officers had nothing to do with the ICE activity. Police have faced withering criticism from some for being here that day, but the city says officers were called to the scene by both ICE and the public when things were getting out of control. The public was demanding a warrant as ICE arrested Rosanna Ferreira de Oliveira, and the scene became heated here on the street. Oliveira's teen daughter ended up being arrested for allegedly jumping in front of the ICE vehicle to try to block it from leaving with her mother. The city manager says releasing these videos will show that de Oliveira was already under arrest when police arrived, and officers have no connection to ICE arrests and won't target anyone based on their immigration status. Let's listen to a clip of an encounter between a Worcester city councilor and law enforcement as things were getting tense.
Let her go. She's my constituent. She's my constituent, and you're holding her.
As for De Oliveira, ICE says she was targeted because she's a violent criminal and because she's here illegally. We're live in Worcester. Michael Rosenfield, NBC 10 Boston.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to...
Fallout now in Worcester, Massachusetts, following the chaotic ICE arrest of a woman last week. Worcester police are now releasing dramatic police body cam video of the incident. What you see here, neighbors and a family member trying to stop ICE agents from arresting the woman. Worcester officials say after considering the chaos that erupted, they're now exploring how their employees, including police, should interact with federal immigration agents. CNN's Gloria Pesmino is following all of this. Gloria.
To that breaking news, a manhunt underway for 7 inmates still on the run more than 24 hours after escaping from the Orleans Parish Jail. We learned overnight that another 2 escapees were recaptured, bringing the total number to 3. WTSU reporter Ariel Brumfield joining us live from the Sheriff's Office, where she is tracking those latest developments. And Ariel, we now know where those inmates are in custody this morning, or do we know?
Well, Morgan, we are told that those 3 captured inmates are now in the custody of LSP officials. They were moved to a different facility than the jail right behind me. We have new images that we received showing those newly captured inmates in handcuffs. They were getting into a helicopter with officials, but the search still remains for those 7 inmates still on the run. Now, we are showing you those pictures that we received from officials this morning of those 3 captured inmates. That is DeKeenan, Dennis, Kendall Miles, and Robert Moody. 7 still on the run and being sought after. To recap, officials say 10 inmates escaped the OPSO jail early Friday morning. They entered a cell, removed a toilet, adjusted the piping and plumbing, escaped through a wall, and then scaled a fence. Law enforcement caught Kendall Miles yesterday hiding under a car in the French Quarter. Robert Moody was found in Central City, and then late last night, DeKeenan Dennis was found in New Orleans East. We know that when the escape happened, there were about 4 supervisors and 36 staff members on shift overnight here at OPSO, but Sheriff Hudson says the jail is still understaffed by about 60%. Now, the media was not notified of the escape inmates until close to 10 a.m. yesterday morning. Officials still working to bring those last 7 men in.
It does not matter, but we will deem all escapees as Louisiana state prisoners. They will be LSP's prisoners. They will not be booked into the Orleans Parish, and other arrangements have been made.
We recognize that some of these individuals may have left the city and moved out into other parishes and possibly left Louisiana. And that's why we have our federal partners here with us who have leveraged all of their resources to keep not only New Orleans safe, but all Louisiana.
It's a reckless world we live in. Everywhere you go, man, nothing but drama. Everywhere you go. I don't understand why Damn, sis, you be lying? That's what they be saying, she be lying. Tisha Tells is a woman who hates men.
This hair, it's been a journey, but we always find a way.
One of the main people who were involved with Diddy, Jeremy, what's his name? Jeremy Chaviner or whatever, I can't pronounce his last name. These people who were involved in the Diddy camp wanted to express very vocally that they're disappointed in the way that this Tisha Tells was illustrating her, collective freedoms to embarrass, talk down on, and pretty much defame Sean Diddy Combs and misleading information in the trial. Whatever the prosecution says, she spins it to try to make it sound like it's the most damning thing in the world. And whatever the defense does, she overlooks or ignores to try to make it look and paint a narrative as if they're losing to make the general public believe a narrative that is false. And they keep pushing the envelope, pushing the Diddy trial, pushing everything to try to garnish some type of success in the creative space. Now, other people have made hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go along with this agenda. I refuse to go along with the agenda because I don't believe it. And once I start seeing things that are inaccurate, as this woman claims that she's made a lot of inaccurate statements, and she's taking true statements and trying to spin them into her own narrative. Saying, oh, Diddy's done. Oh, Diddy's on the trial. Diddy's doing this. Diddy's doing that. And I'm like, how is Diddy doing these things and Diddy's not on the stand? Oh, they fried Diddy today. The prosecution got him on the stand. I'm like, he's not on the stand. He's not on trial. Like, what is she doing? It's really, if you listen to it, it's so one-sided and jaded, it doesn't even make sense. And she's going over the fact that the defense said that they don't think she should be there. Absolutely. They don't think that Dawn Richards should be there in the case. She's trying to tell them the emotions of what they're thinking and what Diddy's thinking. You don't know what Diddy's thinking, lady. You don't tell me. Diddy was the lawyer was staring at me and he gave me a frown. I would frown at you too, nigga. Yes, let me get a large chocolate shake.
Sorry, I don't have no shake.
What?
Yeah, well, the drink.
This is crazy. Let me get the steakhouse. Why isn't Teaser Tales talking about that? Why is she not talking about that? Why Teaser Tales isn't pointing out those facts to you? Because those facts don't align with her case of protecting Cassie and the prosecution at all times and all points. Meanwhile, they promote her little whack-ass videos. Will she make 20 damn videos today? Ooh, I just got out of trial, and then this happened, and then this happened, and ooh, they got Diddy. I don't know what y'all think about Diddy having a good day. Oh, he didn't have a good day. Everybody said he had a good day when the cross-examination happened. And it really hurt the prosecution. Every lawyer who isn't biased had to admit the prosecution did not close these holes. The prosecution left the door wide open. And they have been doing not a bang-up job. They've been doing a job of shock and awe, but they have not proved the charges. And that's where we at. That's why I can't trust certain internet to get you the news. Because it's not about the hits. They want to push these assholes in charge up so that you can see them when they know they lying out their teeth.
I'm telling you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
They blocked my channel, stopped me, and this is real.
Somebody sent me a clip and a timestamp that really got me hot. It didn't get me hot, but it just got me to the point like, damn. Like, people are just so stupid. So they wanted me to respond to it. And it was by somebody who was, you know, I felt was
Casino for life. One crack news.
being a little shady. Now, the process was this, all right? And I want you guys to follow this. As this whole thing was in development, the process was going like this. You have one individual, right? And this individual said that they've already proven fraud against Sean Diddy Combs. That's one of the charges. We've already got him for fraud. We already got him for one of the cases. Now, earlier in the trial, they thought they already had him, like, we already got him, like, that's already convicted on that first charge. And then they said, no, this is the best domestic violence, not trafficking. So that's not there. Now, according to this one individual who claimed that they got Diddy on fraud, this one individual, when they sent me the timestamp and they wanted my opinion on it, said they got him on fraud because Cassie had a 10-album deal and she only recorded one album, so that's got to be fraud. People, I swear, the people y'all listen to for information, if they don't cover or don't know anything about the music business from that perspective of contracts, please don't listen to them. Please don't. I'm sorry. Please don't. Just stop. Okay? Because that's like some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I mean, don't that sound dumb? Cassie could record 2,000 songs.
Thank you.
Thank you. She could record 2,000 songs. It is up to the discretion of the record label on what they want to do with the songs. It is up to their discretion. Do you not know why it's up to their discretion? Because they're the ones that's financing this thing. When they agreed and signed you to this contract, under the terms of these contracts, they have to meet certain conditions. They provided you the money. In some cases, they provide you housing. They provide you with a studio cost. You have a budget. Okay? And as long as you're under contract, this is provided to you. As long as you're providing what you're supposed to provide in the contract. It's a loan. So how could it be fraud if they've already loaned you the money and you have not recouped? If the record company doesn't feel what you recorded is good enough to put out on the streets, they don't have to release it. Okay, the albums have to be approved by their standards. Now, if you recorded and completed, and the completed means not just recorded the songs, but put together an album, and they just don't want to release it, then you have to motion it into court. Did Cassie ever claim fraud in court and file papers to try to get herself released out of the label? Did she get a lawyer and do all of that? No. So where is the fraud? How could it be fraud? She never complained about her record deal because she was paid more than what she ever would have gotten out of her record deal just by being with Diddy. So where the hell is the fraud? See, this is why I keep telling y'all got to stop listening to idiots. Okay, I understand that you heard it and you wanted to bring it to me, and the timestamp, I appreciate it, but I don't watch that person because I already know that person don't know what the hell he's talking about. That person just talking.
Brunch. 90s brunch.
Hi, I'm Carcina. And she was so obsessed that they've been knowing each other way back. And see, this whole trial has gotten people and their minds all screwed up. That everybody's here trying to make a name for themselves. You have the former FBI director, Richard Comey's daughter, Maureen, trying to make a legacy for herself as the person that goes after the traffickers. After she went after Giselle Maxwell, now she's after Diddy. You know, it's like, what are they doing here? So everybody's looking at this and they're saying to themselves, why are we here? What is this all about? Why is the stories keep changing? Why is the evidence is not matching up? What is this prosecution trying to do? Is this justice? Or are they saying, well, we can't get you with what we want, so we're gonna try to use these other charges to embarrass you and make everybody see you as a man who beat a woman and had weird sex with her. It's not a crime, but to us it is. We don't like it. So that's what it looks like. They're just upset about something they don't like. How about that? How many times have you seen this in the history of mankind? I've seen it a lot. Now, everyone has their own opinions. But you're not in the courtroom. Most of you have not heard all of the evidence. You've been watching the news, and you don't have a clue as to what's going on out there. So we're here to help you with your delusion. We're here to help you in your confusion so that you would understand what this is truly all about. Because I feel you need to know. You see, Carrie was around Diddy and never had any concern. Carrie worked for Diddy, was always around Cassie. To the point, Cassie thought Diddy was sleeping with Carrie. Now, these two did everything together. They went to Paris together. Everyone assumed that these two were sleeping with each other. They thought these two were sleeping with each other all up and down. Yep. You ain't sleeping together. Look at them. They're sleeping with each other. You can tell. You can tell. That's all I heard. You can tell. They sleeping with each other. Now, they done drugs together. Everything, the whole nine. But where did they really come from? Well, let's take a look. You see, Cassie Ventura is what you would call A catalog model.
You know when you get distracted by a fluffy little dog rocking the same necklace as you? Then
And once you're a catalog model, these are the results of being a catalog model. They would always appear in certain magazines, in certain ads, and Cassie's mother was trying to get her into the business and wanted to very much. Her parents come from a very modest life, thought their daughter was beautiful enough to be in these catalogs and magazines. And this is where Carrie Morgan also comes from, the same place. Good old Della's. Della's magazine has produced, being a Della's model and all that, this magazine, this ad for this company, and they have provided some of the top children models that turned out to be entertainers or highway successful to meeting producers, actors, directors. These models have gotten careers. And it's only due to those facts that you start to see the truth. And once the truth shows its face, there's nothing you can do about it. The truth has shown up, and bam, just like that, it's done. So, her being Adela's model with Carrie, these two were inseparable. So Carrie saw all of the fights. Carrie saw everything going down, the drugs, the fights, all of it. And they never said a word. None of them. Now,
KOD testimony.
let's look at this from a perspective that makes sense. You see that Della's is an ongoing fest of people that are insane. They are something crazy, right? The people don't even need to be where they are for it to be successful.
Damn,
You know?
Carcina, you're wasting time. God dang, can you
What
get to the
angers
fucking
most
point?
people about the situation at hand is that this place comes together and do something that others don't seem as rational or logical as the way they handle these models and these firms that they come from, that they use to put in their magazines. you're advertising to these predators. Not saying this is where Diddy got her, because this is not where Diddy got her. Diddy didn't know her. Neither did Brian Liz. But this is where these powerful men, they go and they see what they want, and they'll tell their assistant, find me this one right here. So they're not thinking about the product. They're thinking about the woman. And these women are trained, programmed to be with rich men or men with means. They're programmed not to go and post stuff on social media without the authority or consent of the person that they're with. They're there to be seen, not heard. These situations happen all the time. Now, I want you to meet someone here. This is one of the top CEOs of that company at the time, of Dallas, or Dellas, or whatever they call themselves.
Always.
Now, that retail store closed down and became defunct.
She's a
They
madam.
had to go under in 2015. But while they were on their plunge to the ground in closing, this was the lady that chose and made sure she had full autonomy as to what was going on with the magazines. She knows fashion. She knows everything. Miss Tracy. And see, Tracy knew from a standpoint of what others didn't know is she knows what she's doing.
Oh my God, this is like waiting for paint to dry, bro. Get on with the motherfucking
Right,
point.
she knew that the ship is getting bad. So Tracy Gardner said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pack my bags because it's getting hot in here. After training and grooming young model women to be professionals, why do you think these guys go to the runways? They go to the runways so they can see if they can grab some prime shelf ribs. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell. Yes, I am Carcino for life. Thank you very much. For those who didn't see, like, share, subscribe. The Cash App is Carcino. You see on the banner below that keeps going by saying the Cash App is Carcino. Yes, use that.
Free you.
Now, everybody knows these scenarios and these stories, they keep going. And the reason they keep going is because people like this is in charge. Guess where she's at now? So 2 years before it all goes under, 2 years before it all goes under, she leaves. And now she's at the Gap. I wonder who's the models over there. Now, here it is that Cassie never seemed to get into a situation that others didn't know about. early in her career, is her friends were all she cared about, and she was very loving with her friends. Now, she accused Carrie of sleeping with Diddy till she realized, no, she just works for him, and that's it. And her and Carrie had the same type of background, and Carrie knew Tracy, but I don't know if Cassie knew of Tracy when Tracy got to Dallas, because Tracy Gardner came from J. Crew, took it public, was the business, economics woman. She looked over everything. So by the time she got there, I think Cassie was already gone from Dallas. And the CEOs and the people who were there before her had Cassie and Carrie. When they came over, those two didn't form a friendship there. They just, once they started talking to each other, they realized that they both were in Dallas and modeling, and they come from the same place. So they didn't know each other then, but know that they went through the same agencies to get into the magazines and go to the certain events. So they had a connection once they realized that they go back further than Diddy. But Diddy always with Russell Simmons and all these other people, Brett Ratner, all of these directors in Hollywood. You wonder how they get these women? They go and these women are assigned to them. Okay, if you're on my Patreon, you already know, but if you don't, let me advise you. They got places that they go. That's why they're sitting there watching these women on the runway. They're not there to buy the material, the dresses that's on the women. That's a front. Here's the new swimsuit. The women that's there, they're not even there to look at the outfits. It's like, oh, that's a nice, it looks good on her. But what look good on somebody don't look good on you. They're shopping for the women. They're shopping for what's on that stage. And whoever's in control of them and pushing them and been whipping them, they have been mentally conformed to service and serve whoever they're assigned to. This is the modeling world. And you don't bring shame and you don't bring embarrassment into the house. You are to be a vessel. From Tyra Banks to all of them. To make their place in this game, this is what they did. This is the road they chose. This is the road and avenue that they choose to go down. They wanted to be the next top model. They wanted to be all of it. So what happened with Diddy and Carrie? That Cassie stopped talking to her forever. Well, there was a time that there was an argument being had at the hotel, and Diddy allegedly got mad that Carrie even got involved. Carrie got in there to take up for Cassie in an argument, trying to defuse the situation. Carrie's the person that allegedly has witnessed a lot of the beatdowns, verbal abuse, and alleged activities throughout. But what she chose to do was ignore. Until one day, she decided to stand up to Diddy. Tell Diddy how wrong he was. And talk back with her mouth like, I have an opinion. And Diddy was allegedly like, oh yeah? Wow! He threw a wooden hanger that was hanging in the hotel closet at her and hit her in the head. As she cried, she left the room, and she felt Cassie didn't take up for her or stick up for her at all. She didn't take her side. And that ruined their friendship. She suffered a concussion. She went to the hospital. She didn't want to be around Diddy anymore. They settled this thing out of court, of course, with Diddy allegedly paying her $50,000 for giving her a concussion. Took care of her hospital bills, the whole nine. But in this lawsuit that was going to be filed, this civil thing, Cassie was also being sued. And Cassie had to pay half of the lawsuit that went with Diddy. She had to pay $25,000, allegedly, of the $50,000 that went to this woman here. Now that everyone see how this plays out, it becomes a more scarier scene because now you're witnessing somebody who's not what you would consider rational. Cassie got a text from her one time, and like they communicated one time during a text, and it's like, you took money from me, you know, like you were supposed to be my friend, and Cassie never spoken to her again. So we'll hear more about what happened, but that's all of what we know. Now we will address this Suge Knight thing she just brought up that means absolutely nothing. Made it look like they were going to go out and attack Suge Knight in the hotel. You know, she told this salacious story, and the government wanted to bring that up as the point of relevance. We have no idea. Right? Well, I'll address that next.
I'm getting the fuck up off here, charged my phone up, and I'm coming back with some more shit about my life and who the fuck I am to share with you all where I come from in these streets. Let me give you one rap for the motherfucking block, the trap god. I don't know what else to say, but it's gangsta out here in these streets. Who we fighting, bro? Hold on.
You know? Hey, I'm just saying. Tell them to shut the fuck up and be quiet. forgot about the macaroni and cheese. I swear I think we overcooked them. But, it might be just right. But you know what? They don't taste cheesy enough. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another one of the cheese packets. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put another one of the cheese packets up in there. Cause that shit don't taste cheesy enough. Throw the noodles away, right? And let's try that out. Feel me? Okay. Now let's see.
Anyways, let me go ahead and go. I'll holler at y'all later.
It's already looking a lot better.